What you watching?
Oh, I'm watching Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast, as you should, on YouTube. Wow. My friend, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast on YouTube, the best. Check it out.
Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast.
Hey, I want a shirt, I want a shirt, look. La camisa está linda, loco. La camisita está linda. Beautiful shirt. Motherhood, sex, marijuana in the motherfucking building. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Definitely. What's good with everybody?
Chilling. What's going on?
I see it, guys. Quick. Hold on for a second, guys.
What happened?
No, you said hold on for a second.
Oh, okay. Mr. Best in the World, are you just out of curiosity, are you gonna jump on the camera?
No, not at all. Y'all already know.
Oh, because I only ask because that's what we usually do. I'm just wondering. And to have
I feel you.
And to how I'm not sure if Ruby's gonna be able to join because she has a lot going on. So but we just gonna go ahead and get this show on the road, shall we? How about that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm down for it. Let's get it.
And definitely. So Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the building. Glad to have you in the building. As far as our audience, I definitely want to introduce each one of you. One, I know, first of all, I matter of fact, I think it'd be better if y'all introduce yourselves because I'm kind of confused a little bit as to wait, having trouble hearing audio. Really, M3? What's going on? I hope not. I hope you're able to fix that though. But anyway, so I would say the best thing to do is for y'all to introduce yourselves because as far as we know, we're in Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana. The podcast is interviewing knowledge and relationships podcast. But at the same time, I do realize that y'all got y'all separate things going on. So how about you start, Mr. Best in the World? Explain, introduce yourself to the audience, and then M3, hopefully, whatever audio situation's going on, they'll get fixed. And it's probably because you're hot, because you're clearly somewhere sweaty.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let you jump in.
Yeah, it's burning like fish grease out here in California. That's why I'm inside the house. I mean, maybe he had to go grocery shopping or something. Maybe that's why he's out. But
yeah, unfortunately, I'm out and about, so it's like 108 right now, and this motherfucker ain't doing no justice. But I can hear you. I can still hear in my Bluetooth that I need it.
Okay, he's back. All right,
108,
off, dog.
He said, okay, Lord.
M3, kick it off, man. Kick it off.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, look, first and foremost, Kai Storm and Ruby, if you're here, thank you for inviting me and Mr. Best, from Knowledge and Relationships. Sorry I'm looking like a hot mess right now, but when you're out in the field doing community service, out in the heat, this is what you're gonna look like. But other than that, man, we're just happy to just be able to be a part of your podcast and to join you and give you guys our support as well too. So salutes to you guys. Salutes to my network manager and best friend, Mr. Best in the World 84. And I'm looking forward to like, more like, future collaborations with you and Ruby. So thank you.
Absolutely, and glad to have you on the show. Of course, what I'm saying, I'm glad you taking time out. We definitely not going to make this interview too long, because after all, you in the street doing the work of the that is needed. I'm damn sure going to let you get back to that. But yes, thank you. And we absolutely look forward to more collabs and things of that nature. But Mr. Best in the World, chime in. Let me hear what you got to say.
Definitely. My name is Mr. Best in the World. Representing Knowledge and Relationships. Also representing Intellectual Soapbox. I'm network manager for Knowledge and Relationships. And yeah, about to enter our third season. It's coming fall. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely excited. And yeah, we about to be 3 years running. Strong, and we ready just to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Thank you for having me on here. I definitely appreciate y'all having me on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying the hell out of the summer break. Yeah, I'm just chilling, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you.
Oh, of course. I mean, and of course, because the fact is, from what we know so far, you definitely are definitely doing it big in these streets as far as your numbers are concerned on YouTube. I absolutely have seen, a couple of your episodes, and I definitely get the invites when the invites come in, but I guess it's because, the difference in the time difference is definitely a situation for me, because Lord knows that sometimes I get in after just running around in these streets doing whatever I need to do all day, and by nighttime I'm just like, who? Nah, I don't want. So while I get the invites, I definitely appreciate the invites. Lord knows that sometimes I can't even get to it because I just be out there. But I definitely want to hear about what's your what's the basis of your platform, and what is what is the goal of your platform in a whole.
You want me to kick it off, Mr. Best, or you want to start first?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, the goal of the goal of our platforms, because we have Knowledge and Relationships, we have the Intellectual Soapbox, and coming soon we're gonna be like streaming like M3 TV network. So the goal is like for our platforms is basically kind of be like out of the norm of what we're seeing like in the negative side of Black YouTube. Right now we got people that's out there like just talking a bunch of like garbage, doxing folks, talking about a bunch of like male versus like female, like problems or whatever, but no one's really trying to come up with solutions intentionally. And so like our platform, like especially Knowledge and Relationships, even though it is about like solution oriented based like topics, we do talk about problems that do involve like with men versus women or whatever, but we try our best to really provide simple solutions. Even if we're talking about like celebrity junk or other things that's going on outside of the like norm, we're just trying to just break the barriers and really just trying to have like a huge like network of people that can actually build a development for our channels.
That's what's up. And honestly, I think that type of idealism is needed based on how things are going. It's like I think everything around us is trying to put us against each other. You know what I mean? Like in some way, shape, or form, whether it's based on race, based on female versus male. So it's like any road to, or anybody trying to bring solution based, trying to bring some solutions to this situation is absolutely needed. Mr. Best, what would you like to say on that?
I definitely feel the same way that M3 feels about it. Just bringing positive solutions, and definitely just trying to find ways to represent our people in a good light. You know what I mean? But also, I also would say that another big thing is that as we're trying to get two more channels monetized, which is Intellectual Soapbox and M3 TV Network. Our goal is to kind of highlight content creators, from that are just trying to get their foot in the game, or
Mm-hmm.
just they may not, they're trying to like just trying to get things maintained and up and running. We really want to help people who are kind of at a starting base, but it's hard. It's a challenge doing that. I didn't know it was gonna be this much of a challenge doing that because when I started, I was taking any kind of help I can get. I was
I
like, you want
imagine
to do
so.
what? You want to? I only got 200 subscribers. I only got 20 subscribers. You want to do an interview? Fine. Come on, please do one. You know what I mean? I was so hungry. You know what I mean? In the beginning, and I'm not saying my hunger definitely has changed because I mean, once you get monetized and you've done the goals you wanted to do, because I feel like I've done everything I want to do in YouTube. Basically, like there ain't nothing else for me that I actually want to do. But there's other things that I will do, if you understand what I'm saying, sister. Like I feel like I've done everything that we wanted to mark in. Like we wanted to get to 500, got to 500. We want to get to 1,000, we got to 1,000. We want to get monetized, we got monetized. So it was like once we completed that list, I was like, ain't nothing really else that I really wanted to do after that. Um, but there's other things that I would like to do. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I would like to
Oh, definitely.
interview podcasters that I like, you know what I'm saying? That are, that I follow, that are kind of, like they're really like they have like, 20,000 subscribers or 80,000 or 8,000 or whatever. But these are people that I look to, as like, as inspiration, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or even some of them who have the same amount of subscribers that I have and then monetize, but we have like the same ideals or the same principles or the same things like aligned. And even if we don't, I just like their content because I just feel like it's creative and fun. But our
Right.
new thing is that we trying to really help other people who don't have that much support. You know what I mean? To really get things going for them. You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
that is the overall thing because I mean when we was coming up, we needed support. Like we needed that. Like we needed people to put our stuff out there. We needed people to interview us. We need people to talk about us. We still do, but I mean,
Absolutely. I'm
I'm
about
talking
to
about like I'm
say.
talking about that. Yeah, I'm talking about like at the beginning phases, like less than 500 subs. Nobody knows us. We don't have no relationships. We're not monetized. We're not making no money. Ain't nothing happening. Like we ain't got no memberships, nothing. Like we really don't have anything as a podcast. To now where we kind of have a little bit of a movement, you know what I'm saying? A small movement, but it's still a movement. Now, we want to be like, yo, okay, let's help others to get to that point where they have a movement. You know what I'm saying? And in
Right.
that movement, they could just kind of grow from there. You know what I mean?
And
Whether
that's what's
whether
up.
whether it's motherhood, sex, marijuana, whether it's and what y'all doing or anybody else that is trying to get to that point where they have that monetization and everything else. That's where we want to do, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're not trying to piggyback off of nobody's success. We really just trying to help people and also be inspired by people and also be helped. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of times the way content creators get it twisted is that they think that because they have higher numbers, that somebody has smaller numbers can't help them. And that's completely false because, the thing is that as a content creator, you can always learn from somebody. Don't matter
Indeed.
what the number is, you can always learn from them. But you got to be
Right.
willing and open to them. You always got to have that humbleness. And if you
Indeed.
have that, then the sky's the limit. You feel me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with a whole 100%. And that's one of the things honestly, when I look at YouTube and because I myself have a YouTube channel besides this channel for Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, and definitely it's something that I've said to myself where it's like, if I was paying attention, if I definitely was pushing towards certain things or actually, putting any type of emphasis or time into my YouTube channel, it would be bigger than what it is now. So I think that's one of the things that definitely is part of the success of people's YouTube channels. Just like with you put effort into, getting the word out, talking to people, taking interviews and things of that nature. So, so that, and through that, you were able to grow your numbers. So so definitely that's one great path or one great way to go. Now, how long have y'all been doing this?
For like for us as a team, we've been doing this for over like 2 years. But the channel started in 2022, like I think it was like February was the 21st or 22nd, I think. Oh, February 20th, 2020. So I started like, knowledge relationships before like it became a podcast. It was just me doing like pre-recorded shows, talking about like, the problems that was going on between male and female relationships. And again, still try to provide some type of advice. And then every now and then I'll post up like travel videos, that actually shows like, case like certain like relationships, along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now around like I would say probably like November it's like when we started doing like the podcasting. It was still this year in 2020 because by that time, I was like, all right, man, like I think like that's pretty much all that I really have. And then, Mr. Best and another friend of ours, DJ the King, who's a part of Knowledge Relationships, they kind of gave me that push to try to give, doing live stream a try. So
Right.
when we started doing live stream, like, we didn't really know what we was doing or what we was getting ourselves into. We was like, all right, with the, small amount of subscribers that we have, let's see like where the live stream will take us. And Lord behold, we would never knew that, okay, this would have took us so far just by going live, meeting new people, networking with them along the way. And yeah, this is like how we got started, how we got to the, I want to say the finish line, but in the stage that we are right now, still in development, we wouldn't even been this far if it hasn't been for the team, for Mr. Best, for DJ Eddie King and everyone else who have contributed. And also, the late, great Cubilla Jones. She was definitely a valuable asset to our team, especially for our ladies' night.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Well, my condolences as far as that person, definitely. And that's a great point to make as far as a team, because as far as with this podcast, it definitely started, as a team, effort because it was me, Ruby, and other ladies. But eventually, once certain work had to be put in, and certain steps had to be put in, people started falling off the the grade and just didn't want to be down with it. So basically, at the end of the day, me and Ruby were the main two that believed in this podcast enough to keep it going. You know what I mean? So so have you had situations like that where when y'all started, there was certain people that were gung-ho at first, but then once they saw this, realizing that work had to be put in, then it was like, oh,
I mean, absolutely. I think that but I don't fault them for anything. I also give a shout out to Tammy, First Lady Tammy, Damo, and Luann. I know they started with us, and then as the progression goes on, people decide to to do their own separate things, or life happens, right? They have life situations, or just things happen where they can't really be on the show as much as they want to.
word.
Maybe they're trying to move, maybe just things are going on and that's out of their control, and they want to be a part of it but they can't. But then on the other hand, outside of the ladies that I named, because all those ladies are wonderful. I thank them for everything they've accomplished, and with them, there's definitely no bad blood or anything that they did that was negative. But on the other side, where you do have people that are negative, or they don't really want to put the work in, I think that what happens is, hey, there go Rubino.
Yeah,
What
Rue's
happens
in the
is,
building.
Hi, y'all. Sorry about my technical difficulties. Hold on, I'm coming.
It's all good. I think
Yeah, you come through and Mr. Best in the World is answering the question real quick.
Oh, I heard Mr. Best's sexy ass voice. I heard him.
oh Lord, have
Lord,
mercy.
I'm gonna need you to chant.
I know he's
Oh,
getting it in. I'll be right there.
Lord, I'm gonna
oh,
need you to chant.
let me finish my statement. I think you're gonna find people who don't necessarily understand the movement, right? Or they don't understand how to do podcasting, or they don't want to put in the work, but they want success, right? Or you have a situation where they kind of just want to do things their way, and in YouTube, like you got to be open minded, like especially if you want people to follow you, like you got to be really open minded. It cannot even if you're really religious, like let's say you're very religious or you believe in a certain like political party or whatever, like you gotta throw all that shit kind of like not in the trash, but it gotta be on the side burner. Because in YouTube, you gotta be open to every community, man. Because if you're not, people are not going to watch you and they're not gonna support you. And what they're gonna start doing is that they're gonna start telling other people not to support you. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard it from other subscribers. I've heard from different people. The one thing that people hate the most are people that are judgmental or hypocritical. Those are two things that people hate, like with a passion. So I think that if you're gonna be in this game, like yo, you gotta be open minded. Like you have to be like there's no other choice. You gotta work with people that you don't know or you don't like or you don't want to be around or you don't have anything in common with. You got to be able to work with them because that person that you may not really float your boat, or they may not even be on your vibe, or may not really be a part of your tribe. They may be the person that helps you the most, and that's the crazy thing about this game of social media. You never know who's going to help you. You never know who's going to turn on you too, but you never know who's going to help you. So you gotta always be open minded, yo. And if you're open minded, then yo, it's like yo, it's like the floodgates are open for real.
You know what?
Fantastic.
I feel what you're saying. I totally feel what you're saying. You know, but but in my head, I'm also saying something like, hold on, because at the end of the day, you know, when you put yourself in a social media state and you talk about something or you have an opinion on something or you have a feeling on something and you state your opinion, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you're putting out that statement, you got to expect that somebody might come off and say, yeah, I don't like what you said, or yeah, I don't like how you said it, or you know what I mean? But are you going to back down from that statement based on the fact that somebody jumped in your comments and has some shit to say about what you had to say? Like,
No, absolutely, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is that that's why you when you preface your statements, you let them know you're giving perspective. I'm giving my perspective, right?
mm-hmm,
I believe
mm-hmm,
such and such, or I don't believe such and such, and that's my perspective. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to attack any communities. I'm not because you gotta understand it's also, in this day and age, we know this. There's different communities, there's different movements,
word,
and these people are they real about what they believe, and they would try to make it seem like you something that you're not. They'll try to shut your shit down over the most smallest things. So that's why when I make my statements, I always say these are my views. You know what I'm saying? I'm not attacking nobody else, but this is my
mm-hmm,
perspective on said topic. You know what I mean?
word,
And also I give that respect back to the person when they share their perspective. Like if
mm-hmm,
we have a business chat, we got several people in there, and I know some people in that business chat. There's some who are very, very they're very, very big on like being married, being with one person,
mm-hmm.
God, and if you ain't doing that, then you're going to hell, and this, that, and the third, right? Now, I respect their views, right?
Mhm,
I
mhm,
believe that there's
mhm,
more to the puzzle when it comes to religion and everything else, but I respect their views, right?
mhm.
And I think based on the level of respect that I give them, they give it back. Now, there's people on the other side who like, yo, I'm gonna be with whoever I want to be with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be with as many partners I want to be with. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna live the life I want to live. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. You feel me? So both have their reasons of why they feel what they feel. You
Word.
know what I'm saying? But it's a level of respect. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can have different opinions, but we gotta have a level of respect. We got a level of respect, we good. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is that when people try to force their beliefs on somebody and then they disrespect the other person's belief, that's when we run into problems. You know what I'm saying? And people gotta know how to not do that. If we learn how to do that in society, period, where it's like, all right, cool. Yo, you like the, you a devil worshiper. All right, cool. Yo, you still donated $100 to my movement though. I'm taking that 100. You know what I'm saying? Damn straight. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like I'm not giving it back. I'm taking it. All right, cool. You believe Jesus and Allah are the same. You donated $50. I'm taking that 50.
Uh-huh.
You
Boom.
know what I mean? Y'all can believe
Boom.
whatever y'all want to believe, and y'all could debate about it and agree and don't agree. At the end of the day, y'all supporting, I'm with it. Let's get it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's
Word.
how you gotta be. It's a hustle, it's a business, but also in the movement, it's gotta be open minded and it's gotta be wide ranging. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta support all communities, including LGBTQ plus A. Everybody. I support everybody, yo. I ain't got
Indeed.
I
And
don't
so
got
do
no
Good.
dog
we.
in the race. I support everybody. Straight up.
Good.
Indeed. Indeed. We support everybody that supports us. Indeed. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But
With
the main reason why I even questioned it based on the fact that, like I said, there's been, like, even in my own my own lane, I've made videos or YouTube shorts based on my unpopular opinion. That's what I call it. It's my opinion, it's my unpopular. And then people and at the end of the day, anybody that jump in the comments, as long as they respectful with it, I'm cool. But as soon as you just step out that line just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You step out a line, I'm gonna delete and block like nobody's business because I don't thank for you. But yes, but yes, as long as it's respectful, we can agree to disagree. Brew, you got any questions?
Yeah, I want to shout out Knowledge and Relationships. The homies over here. Is M3 up in here?
I'm up in this building.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to shout out M3 too because he woke me up from my nap. I'm like, oh my God. And then I couldn't find the link. But I want to respectfully tell these brothers on here that I really appreciate y'all. I learned a lot from you in this short interaction that we've had with each other. And I can say that I definitely love you guys. So thank you for being on our podcast, on our platform. I get the gist of what y'all was talking about. I don't think I have any questions at the moment, but I just want to say that if you can think it in your mind, you can do it. You can bring to fruition anything that you want. I really like the advice that was given. I think it's good to be inclusive regardless. And then I think for all you like uptight Christians out there, excuse me, to use you as an example, or uptight religious people, I say, I'm learning to love you guys the most. Why? Because I found myself like being very frustrated with certain groups that claim to have certain knowledge, and then hold it against people. And so, but at the same time, it's like, well, I need to be inclusive of them too, and I need to understand where they're coming from. And sometimes people, regardless of what you believe in, you just have a narrow perspective generally, right? But anyways, tangent. I'm just joining the conversation. I just wanted to say what's up, y'all. Motherhood, sex, marijuana.
Is in the motherfucking building.
Building.
Absolutely. But we are supposed to be asking them questions, Brew. We ain't supposed to just be
Oh,
high and cute and just looking. I'm just saying.
oh no. I have some questions. I have some questions for these motherfuckers.
No, I'm always enjoying like these like conversations. Like, I know sometimes like we get caught up in the mindset of like having like a interview type of style. And I'm guilty of it as well too. Until like I started like thinking like that's why I need to change up some like my live interviews to like live talks because we get so engulfed with the conversations that I'm like, man, forget about like the interview type of rules. I'm just trying to like, get to know you actually build like a fundamental relationship with you. Even fun fact, because I could say this on your guys' platform. You know, Kai Storm, hopefully one of these days, like, you know, we go out to like New York and get a chance to like really like, you know, meet you like in person. I've, you know, had the luxury of like meeting Rue in person, and I'm looking forward to also seeing you again, Rue. You know, at least this,
Yes.
yeah, no, in August, in the beginning of August, I'll be out there again to see you.
Okay, that's
So
what's up.
yeah, you know. So man, you know, I love like, you know, spending time with people. I love like, you know, just building fundamental relationships. And you know, again, Rue, like, you know, you are like the first that we ever met as far as like in this YouTube space where we actually like, you know, met like in person, you know. And you know, for some, I can't say for all, but for some, you know, we have like a lot of great people that's out there, but they're just so far away. And if like, man, if one of these days we could actually get a time where we could actually meet up in person with the majority of them, I think that would be like so like fundamental, you know, because
Hell
each
yeah.
and every one of you ladies, right? You know, and the gentlemen, and, you know, the guys as well too. You guys add a ton of great value when it comes to this YouTube space, when it comes to, you know, Zoom or any other like social media platform, and we need to hear more of your voices more often. So we hear so much of the
Okay.
BS that goes around like in the world, but we need more like, you know, like positive minded women, women that's like chilling and making things easier for guys that's listening to you guys on the platform. So keep doing what y'all doing because y'all doing great work.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
can't
Thank
wait to get my
you.
Definitely.
coffee mug too, though. I gotta put that out there. Got my
Oh,
coffee mug yesterday, so I'm just
oh,
waiting for it to
nice. Yes,
arrive in the
you
mail.
did order a coffee mug. Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Shit, that's what's up. Matter of fact, shit, when you next time you drink your coffee, make sure it's, you know, snap a picture and send it to us or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need to, you know, use that a little bit as advertising. But what I'm saying is that yes, that's one of the reasons why we created this podcast in the first place, because at the end of the day we live this life and we know other people live this life, and to just have a space to chill, talk, and just be yourself, and talk about any subject under this umbrella is the fact that it's just a welcoming thing. And
Yeah.
shit, coming to, and let me tell you something right now, the space, especially in a space of weed and just being natural and talk about what's going on with real life and just, you know, having a place to just hash it out, that's something that needs to be taken to live shows. Me and Ruby been talking about doing the possibility of doing live shows, because again, this is not something this is not something that we created, and nobody, even though, you know, our audience ain't that big, but our audience actually is big, because when we actually check the analytics, we looking at, and we getting, you know, almost 9,000 people watching, but not 9,000 people subscribing. So it's like you're paying attention. We see you, you see us. We see you, you see us. You feel me? So at the end of the day, we're putting in the work in order to you know what I mean, get the word out and get the name bigger, and making sure that somebody know us somewhere and everywhere. Matter of fact, Ruby could tell you dead ass, when she came to New York, I was introducing her to bad people that knew Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana as a whole, just because they saw me every motherfucking where. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as she came, she was here, and we were, you know, they saw both of us. It was like, oh, okay, and now I get to see you. Okay, true, because the work has been put in, and the work is definitely getting put in. So for y'all, what are the steps that y'all are taking besides, you know, being in these YouTube streets? What are what steps are you taking? Are you know, doing, like, are you trying to do live shows, or you know, do you have merch? Like, what exactly are you doing to get the numbers up?
I would say the biggest things that we've done. Yes, we've done like reels and that, like YouTube reels and things on TikTok and things on IG, and all those things have garnered us a lot of support as well. And I think that was a good amount of support that we got. Also, us building relationships with other content creators. You know, Instagram is a great resource. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a chance to use Instagram, use it the best way that you
Indeed.
can because yo, you get
Yeah.
to meet so many people. You know what I'm saying? And yo, you can average at least I try to at least average at least 3 or 4 people following me per day. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
it's increased my numbers and it's
What's
increased
up?
the following. You know what I mean that I've been able to have and been able to bring towards our movement. And also I want to I know you was talking about the live streams, and I just want to talk about the benefit of the live streams. The benefit of the live streams is to let your audience be a part of your experience, one on
Boom.
one and directly. You know what I'm saying? They get to feel you, they get to see you, they get your energy gets the vibe, and y'all really get
Right.
to have an experience. You know what I'm saying? And in that experience, you know what I mean, you get the experience. It's an adventure. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? There's times where things is like, yo, we rocking and rolling, and there's times where it's like, yo, this is some crazy shit. Like like I wasn't expecting this shit to go like this. Like the shit just turned left. Like yo, we talking about marijuana now. Somebody done called in and they told me they wanna, not be here anymore. They want to self delete. Like, yo, how we even get to this point? Like we wasn't even talking about this.
It's
No,
life.
somebody
It's
called in
life.
and now they want to talk about sports. And you're like, okay,
Oh,
like, all right, what's good? All right, cool. What you want to say about sports, man? How you feel? You know what I mean? What you want to say? What you want to get off?
Well,
You know what I mean?
well,
So
right now,
it's like
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's like the live streams. It allows you to interact, but it also allows you to be flexible, yo, because you never know what people are gonna say in the comments, and you never know when they pull up to the live stream what they're
word.
gonna do or what they're gonna say. Like, but that's the beauty of it because it adds intrigue and listen, the more intrigue and the more I would say, I don't want to call it drama, but the more randomness you have, yo, it's like the better.
I
It's the
can
better. I ain't gonna
imagine.
lie to you.
I could definitely imagine. I mean, and yes, that makes sense. I mean, you know, in an environment that you're not controlling, with things are happening, and you're not, able to, edit them out. They're just, it happened, and we dealt with it. We moved on. I feel you. You know.
Definitely. I had the thought the other day, guys, because y'all talk a lot about relationship shit. And I had to ask myself the question, do I want a relationship because I really want one, or do I want one because everybody got one? So it's just like, for instance, Mr. M3 rolling around in his Tesla, right? Sure, I want one of those motherfuckers, but you know what I mean? But is my yearning based on, is it a society, is it a social construct? Am I influenced by anything? You feel me? Because then
Oh
I'm gonna
yes,
tell
I'm
y'all.
just saying. You
Okay.
just told the world. Yes, he has a Tesla, and I
No, he
may
doesn't.
want one.
I
I
mean, it's
may want
clear
one
we was,
because no.
yeah. I'm just pointing
I
it
mean,
out,
everybody knows
using it
that.
as an example. But y'all feel me, right? And all of y'all are in actual long-term relationships where you share bills with somebody. I don't care about the paperwork. Y'all sharing bills, okay? So like, can you guys answer from a standpoint of like, do you see how times in life that you wanted to have a relationship just for the sake of, and how does it differ from your relationship presently?
Well,
I
well,
can answer
well.
that
That's
for
a
you.
good question.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's basically like FOMO sometimes, a fear of missing out. So you could be heavily influenced just by the imaginative of like what would it be like if it was my turn to experience the type of relationship that these people have. Like remember like before like social media got big, everyone used to glorify like Will and Jada Smith's relationship. Everybody wanted a marriage like Will and Jada. And so they had that fear of, well, if
Mm,
I don't get into like the position that Will Smith is in, then I'm gonna miss a type of relationship that they have. But then of course, red table talk later. Now everybody else is hating on their type of relationship. So it's the emotional feeling that what you want to see. It's like the novelty, right? You want something that is brand new, but then after a while, once the novelty wears off, it's almost like post-nut clarity. You know, you're seeing things a little bit clearer, but now it's like, are you appreciating what you now have that you wanted to begin with in the first place? And so that's like a question that I would have to say that, okay, how does it like it affect you guys, right? Once you guys attain it, you know what I mean? That relationship.
I,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't catch that last
definitely.
part.
I definitely can say for myself that, you know, I can be honest enough and say that, you know, and there have been times in the past where, yes, like I was in you know, I've definitely had feelings of wanting to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. But then at the same time, when those relationships happen during those feelings, you really the relationship turns sour and crusty and musty in the worst way possible. So it at that moment it teaches you like I don't want to do this. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this with somebody I actually care about, like somebody I actually, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, I don't care, you know, how they look or smell, you know, in the morning times. You know what I'm saying? We all look and smell a little funny in the morning. You feel me? So it's like, you know, it's not an issue, but it's definitely a sentiment that has, you know, appeared itself in the past, and you definitely know the difference. You know what I mean? If you get into a relationship, or at least for me in my history, I could say that getting into a relationship during those times and having those feelings was the worst shit in the world, because it's like you with somebody that you really didn't, you know what I'm saying, you really ain't genuinely give a fuck about. You feel me? So it's like, nah, your best bet is to, you know what I mean, is to get to know yourself more and know, you know, how you want to operate or how you want to be operated around in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So when that person come along, they automatically fit the requirements and you ain't even looking. You feel me? Right.
Huh. Interesting. I
would
like
say
that.
for myself, whew, man, that's a loaded question, Ruby Doll. I like that you asked that though. That was bomb. That's fucking bomb. Okay, I'm gonna answer it. Now, I think the thing is this, right? As humans, we all have that innate built-in desire for human connection, right? It's in us. We can't dodge that shit. I know motherfuckers be trying to say they don't need nobody and all other bullshit. Fuck all that shit. It's in us. We can't
That's all
deny it.
bullshit. We all know that. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in us already. We know it. All right. So let's just face the facts. It's in us. So now we gotta find people who are going to match the desires, but they're going to be positive to us and to themselves, right? So I need somebody that's gonna, yeah, they're gonna bring that family oriented, relationship, but it's gonna be positive. It's gonna be good for me. It's gonna be good for them. They're gonna bring that intimate lover connection. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be positive. It's gonna be good for me and good for them. They're gonna bring that friendship level of it. It's gonna be good for me, good for them. Associate, whatever, right? We can go keep going down the list, friend with benefits, whatever. But it's all positive. None of it is negative. What happens is that with us, we want those desires, but we get it with the wrong people, right? So we find it with the wrong person. So when we find it with the wrong person, it hurts us, right? And when it hurts, now you don't want to be hurt no more, so you get defensive. You get
Right.
defensive, and
Exactly.
you automatically are not gonna let yourself get hurt. It's like
Word.
when you bring your hand on the stove. You're not gonna keep putting your hand on the stove.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna keep going out here just giving my heart, like, for what? Like, I already got it broken already. So now I'm gonna be guarded. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit hurt too much. So that's what happens because we experience hurt. Now we guard it. It's not the fact that we don't want to love. I think that's automatically innately in us, right? So it's automatically innately in us, but it's the fact that once we're hurt, it changes our perception and it changes our view of things. And then also what we gotta understand too, when we let's talk about intimate relationships. I'm not even talking about family or anything else like that, because I
Right.
feel like your question is more designed to intimate relationships. You're talking about intimate relationships. What we gotta understand is that intimate relationships, we expect too much from them. We expect way too much from intimate relationships. Maybe it's fucking TV, maybe it's media, whatever it is, right? We expect way too much. Because if we this and this is the shit I tell people, in all your life, with your parents, your siblings, people that you connected with, right? You don't even have the expectations from them, and they're your fucking family, right?
Word. That's a good idea. That's a good
So
point.
you expect a stranger to come in, right? And now
Mhm.
they're supposed to be this perfect person that meets all your desires and everything else, and everything else. Get the fuck out of here. That's not gonna happen. It just that doesn't even happen with the people that you're related to. So I was gonna,
Mhm.
and they have your same blood. So somebody don't even have your same blood supposed to come in and do all that shit for you. That's a false fucking narrative.
Boom.
But this is the shit that we programmed ourselves to believe,
Right.
right? We
Right.
program ourselves to believe this bullshit because
Mhm.
I'm glad that M3 used Will and Jada. Will and Jada is a perfect example, right? They show you that marriages has their ups and downs. You don't always want to be around that person. They don't always want to be around you. Shit, sometimes you want to be around other people. Sometimes you want to be around somebody else. You're
Right.
humans. That's human beings. Sometimes you may meet somebody and they're better than your spouse. Sometimes they may meet somebody and they're better than you. You know what I mean? I mean, this is life. You know what I mean? I know people don't want to talk about that shit because it just gets too real at that moment, but I'm going to talk about it.
Word.
I
Word.
talked to an OG over the weekend. He said people always talk about how they look at my life now and they see me, they see my marriage and all that. He said, but they didn't know me when I was in my 30s. He said, I'm 70 now. But if you know how I was in my 30s and how I was moving and grooving out here, you would look at me way different.
Mhm.
So I think the thing is that we gotta understand this shit is a process. You with somebody, you're
Yeah.
gonna have your ups and downs.
Yes,
Now
indeed.
let's say me and Ruby Doll are together, right? We're gonna have our ups and downs, right?
Yeah. Hey.
So
Just
we
kidding.
having our ups and downs. The thing is that are we willing to work through it, right?
Right.
So
Definitely.
let's say throughout the summer we having a hard fucking time. We having a
Mm.
hard summer right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be around
Mhm.
me, I want to be around her. But we still care about and love each other. But right now we ain't fucking feeling each other right now,
Right.
right? And let's say
Wait,
throughout that
are we
summer,
having sex or not? Just
Oh,
kidding. I'm just
okay.
kidding.
Because obviously
that might be
that would
happening, it
be
may not be
important
happening,
for
right?
her.
That may be
Yeah.
happening, it may not be happening, right? But here's the thing: whether that's happening or not, we just not feeling each other. Maybe
Right.
maybe we are meeting those needs, but even if we meet those needs, we still not feeling each other. We just
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
just not rocking right now. We not feeling
Mhm.
each other, right?
Mhm.
Now, am I upset that during that time that she may meet somebody who is now providing something that I'm not providing in that moment? I can't get mad because we not fucking with each other right now for whatever reasons.
Mhm.
Maybe we can
Mhm.
get it back, right? Maybe
Mhm.
we can, but at the moment we just not fucking with each other. So I can't expect her to now just say, okay, I'm not fucking with him at the moment, so I'm just gonna continue to sit here and just suffer. No, ain't nobody gonna do that shit. You're gonna
Mhm.
go when you feel celebrated. You're gonna go when you feel
Word.
loved. And that's
Word.
just the natural fact about it. So men and women gotta get over this fantasy bullshit that they're the only one and that the person's never gonna get tired of them. And even if we argue and we fight and he calls me a bitch, I'm still gonna be okay. Nah, that's not real. Reality
Mhm.
is when you hurt my feelings, I don't want to be around you. And I want to be around somebody who don't hurt my feelings. Point blank,
Right.
period. And that I mean,
Boom.
and that, I'm just keeping it a G. And vice versa. If I'm hurting her feelings, she want to be around a man or a woman that's not hurting her feelings. That's not treating her
Mhm.
poorly. And she still want to be around that if I don't correct my behavior. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because people
Right.
people think that you're supposed to do things, and because you took these vows or these commitments that you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Nah, that's not how
Right.
life works. You know what I'm
Right.
Word.
saying? Like I said, the
Word.
person that birthed me, if I got a limit with them, I'm gonna have a limit with somebody else. They gave me fucking life.
Mm.
Let's just keep it G.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fuck all them
Mhm.
So
vows and all this shit. I'm just keeping it G, man. That's all I gotta say,
love
man.
it.
I feel
Love
it.
it.
I feel it. Mhm.
Great
You know
cooking. I
what?
like that.
So like so as the only technically single person on this live right now or on this recording, I just had to really grasp that concept because I used to date people date after date, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to just I don't know whether I was trying to hide from something or I was just bored or whatever. But the fact of the matter is like I've never felt so free, not just free like with my time, just free in my mind. Like I think this is good for me right now. You know what I mean? When the time comes, because I do believe in unions and I believe in village and family, when that time does come for me to merge, you know, to acquire another or the moment of
Merge.
acquisition,
Merge.
it
I
will
like
be a
merge.
benefit. Well, it's going to be a benefit for both parties involved or, you know, the parties involved because Rue's going to come with it. You feel me? But I think I couldn't be able to offer that unless I had this like break and this I'm gonna call it a marination. I'm marinating right now.
Absolutely you are. Absolutely you are.
I'm
Let's
ready
let's
for the
let's
cookout and
let's
the
let's
buffet.
let's keep it that exactly because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
like you said, I feel like this things happen for a reason, and
yeah,
this quiet time that is currently happening is your time to develop to know thyself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Work on whatever, you know what I mean, and work on whatever is gonna be for you and benefit you,
Right,
and therefore you bring all this energy around you. It's gonna be
right.
automatic. Like whatever's coming your way is gonna come your way. Nobody gonna stop it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, and I
for
can't
me,
be
it's time for you.
disillusioned. I cannot be disillusioned because sometimes it's like, oh my
Word,
gosh, that seems like a good candidate, but does it, or am I just feeling frisky? Does
word,
it, or am I a little lonely today? Do you know what I'm saying? Does it,
exactly.
or do I keep watching reruns of the Cosby Show and then I'm like, I need a Mr. Huxtable?
Lord have mercy. Nobody needed to stuck around and we try that shit. And see that I think that's another thing that definitely needs to be talked about too, because it's like,
Right.
yo, people will put on this facade on social media, and it's like, what do y'all think about how people be doing? They want to post, what I'm saying, they it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't. You know what I mean? If you post your relationship, people, it's like you throwing it in people's face, and then when you stop putting it in people's face, then they notice, oh, you and that person must have broke up. Or if you do or if you don't post this because you trying to hide, and you're not trying to even put that relationship in public. Like, how y'all, what's y'all take on that shit?
I'm gonna say this, yo. I'm gonna say this a lot. Let me tell you something. I think the problem is that people who are in committed relationships be lying and fronting. They be lying and
Uh,
fronting all the time. They
mhm.
lie in front all the time. They act like their relationships are so good and so this and
Mm.
that and the third and it's milk and honey. That's cat. Because it's not. You go through ups and downs. You go through happy and sad. You go through
Word.
everything. You're human. You go through everything. Like, it's not just always great. Sometimes it's not great. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, y'all are doing wonderful. Like, man, boom, y'all having a great year. Things are
Mhm.
good. She has a great career. You got a great career. The kids is happy. Everybody running around. You're eating ice cream together. From the same cup. Just everything is beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Everything
Dang.
beautiful. You know what I mean? She finishes your sentences before you can finish them. Y'all holding
Yeah,
hands. You're cracking jokes. Looking each other's eyes. Things are wonderful, right? But that's
yeah.
not all the time. It's not all the time. So when people try to act like it's all the time, and they put up a front and a fraud, that's where people get lost and they start feeling away. So what Ruby Doll is talking about, I understand why she feels that way, because it's a lot of bullshit and masquerading that's going on out here. It's a
True.
lot of bullshit and masquerading. They're not telling you about the times where you search that person's phone and you find somebody else's number. They're not telling you about the times where you look in the account and you done put $500 in there and now it's only 200. Where the other three at? What did that person do with that other motherfucking 300? You know what I'm saying? And now you look on your feet and you see some new shoes. What the fuck? Yo, how you get these new shoes? Yo, I gotta pay this water bill. What the fuck are you doing? They're not telling you about that shit. They're not telling you about the other human side of it. They're only telling you about the good times.
Word.
And the good times is one aspect, but it's not the only aspect. This is not a fucking sitcom. Even in sitcom, they have bad times. But you know what I mean? The sitcom, they can edit it, and by the end of 30 minutes, they're back on the same page, right? That's not how life works out. In life, you go through shit. You know what I mean? Somebody in your family may transcend. You may have a career loss. Different things happen, or you may have a season of abundance where I said everything is on fire. You know what I mean? I mean, you making crazy money that you're making so much money you don't even know what the fuck to do with it. You know what I'm saying? You got so much food in your fridge, you're like, man, I gotta throw some of this shit away. You know what I mean? We can't even eat all this goddamn food. And you still eating out. Yeah, and you chilling. You know what I mean? You not only are you buying a Tesla, you buying a Lexus, you buying whatever the fuck you want. You're not even thinking about nothing. Y'all chilling. But that's not always life, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think married couples gotta stop fronting. Stop fronting. And the number one thing, stop hiding behind motherfucking religion. That's another thing. Stop doing that bullshit. Because you're fooling people. You're making people think that it's one thing and it's really not.
At the end of the day, I feel like, the best thing to do is to just, if you're going to let people know something, let people know very little. Like, and I'm talking about everybody. When it comes to everybody and anybody, it keep just very tricklers of information. If I'm just trickling information to you, you can't, you really don't have nothing to use against me. You ain't got nothing to talk about. You ain't got nothing to run around, talk to this, that, whoever's. Ain't none of that foolishness going on. Ain't none of that. It's because you don't know nothing. All you could do is sit around and guess. And that's what I really need you to do, is really sit somewhere and guess. Ponder. No, go ponder somewhere. No.
So I have a confession that I have a confession and then a question for you. Okay.
Okay.
So my confession. So a couple of years ago, what turned me on doesn't turn me on today, and then vice versa, right? So shit that totally I never thought would turn me on has been turning me on lately. Okay. So
okay.
And then the other reason why I'm really very conscientious about who I'm engaging with is because I sometimes can fall under this fairy tale, oh my gosh, this was meant to be. This person was right here at the same time, and the stars and all that shit. I can get into that shit too, and then I gotta snap out of it. So I have been going to a church, and let's just say that there's an individual that's pretty much close to my children, really loves my children, vice versa. And it just the way that he was handling my very active son just got me so wet. It was just so crazy.
Oh my God.
So it was oh my God, is this a syndrome? Is this a single mom syndrome? I don't want to be disillusioned by oh, you're doing shit for my kids, then I want to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that kind of party, but it's still I can't help but say that it turned me on. You know what I'm saying? So my question for y'all is, has there been anything lately that has turned you on that you not used to having that effect?
Nah, I can't say I can't say I've rode that horse. No, thank you. That's a special horse that I'm assuming only you riding right now.
Well, I mean, it could be anything. The way somebody cuts the tree, the way somebody mows a lawn. You know what I mean? I don't know. It could be something
I live in New York City, and
mundane.
You've been in my neighborhood. Ain't no motherfucking lawns. Ain't no lawns. You see my neighborhood. Ain't no motherfucking lawns. The hell? It's potholes. It's potholes and police.
How about y'all? How about
All
you
the
guys?
wrong keys, potholes and police.
Is there something that your partners have done lately that has turned you on that usually doesn't or hasn't?
Man, I mean that's a good question. I mean,
Hell yeah, it is.
I mean to be honest, like I don't really see. I never really like kind of like paid much attention to like okay, like oh, this is turning me on or whatever. Because usually, like once like they do like certain things, it's like there's moments that you already are turned on, and you may not even been paying attention to it, until as a man you look down here and you're like, oh, okay, this little thing woke up or whatever, you know. Um, but and then there's other things you just like, all right, look, I just want to get my space or whatever. I just need to go talk to somebody else or whatever. Not like in a cheating type of sense or whatever, but as human beings, like, there's always gonna be elements where like we get turned on by people, and it could just been something about like maybe you walking around like the house like looking in a certain type of way. You're looking natural. You know what I mean? Like you're just glowing on that particular moment. And you're like, you know what? I didn't know it's about this about you, but now since I'm like just looking into it, man, I'm liking how you're looking. I'm liking the natural look. I'm liking the smile that you're giving me. Sometimes when you start to actually, even when you hear like other people, like sometimes when other people are complaining about the turnoffs, it makes you kind of think, well, dang, like, I have something that's special that's going on that I'm not really going through, that she's not really going through. And then that becomes more of like a turn on because you now finding a certain appreciation, which as before, you didn't really spot that on, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Absolutely. And Ruby, I can't say I can't say I have an answer for your question, Mr. Best in the World. I mean, do you have? Because no.
Nah, not for me. Not for me either. That. What I'm saying? Like recently, like my family been kind of going through a loss, so my mom been kind of focused on supporting my partner throughout this time because she lost somebody close to her. So that's kind of been like really, really on our mind, and I would say through that we've been able to connect and talk a lot more transparently. And I think that because when you lose people that's close to you, like life become real. Like you start to really be able to be honest about certain things, a certain way that you feel, a certain way that she feels. But also, I realized that throughout the loss as well, the need for the need for my partner to have her own experiences with like her family and how that's so important. And because before I'm like, man, like you just grew up differently. Your family is like like Ruby does something like the Cosby. Your family, like the Cosbys or like the like the Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch, like y'all just always together and talking or whatever. But now I see through the loss that she had to encounter, I see the importance of that. Like I see like why that's needed. And then I see the lack of it in my life and why I'm like, damn, okay, this is why I feel a lot of different ways, and these are the traumas that I feel, and these are the ways. This is why I'm not able to connect with people in certain ways, and I start to see the need for family through her family. You know what I'm saying? So that's been really dope, like for real. So I think that she salute to the family, salute to everybody in the family. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely healing as a tribe, and you know what I mean. I definitely want her to continue to experience that connection with family because it's ideal and it's big. I think we got to always remember that our partner, is a human being as well, and they had a life before us. You know what I mean? And they have family too, and within their family, you gotta let your partner, you know what I mean, experience that time with their family when they need to. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Sometimes it's gonna be expensive. Sometimes you got to pay some plane tickets and some other things that you may have to be like, all right, let me get the bank account. Let me see if we could do this. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth it when you see the freshness and the smile and just them feeling being happy about that. Yeah, man, like that's the biggest thing for real.
Word.
See, that's that partnership that I do like. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Yes, absolutely. And then you know what? That actually goes under a little bit under the umbrella of a situation that, well, it involved me, but it didn't happen to me. And it's definitely family based, relationship based, you know what I mean, on that level. And I talked about it with Ruby, so I definitely want to, bring it up on the podcast because it's a situation where it's like, it was a relationship situation where I was just like, what's up? What's going on here? You know what I mean? So what happened was that I have 3 daughters. My oldest daughter is 25 and her name is Africa. And so she called me a couple days ago and was telling me that, her dad was in the hospital and, situation, but the family member that, admitted him to the hospital didn't really want to reach out to her based on the fact that the family member doesn't, really like my daughter. So, and when I reached out to that family member, to try to, attain information for my daughter, because it was just like, because I'm in my head, I'm thinking, beef or no beef, whatever beef you claim you have with my child, that's her father. If you know for a fact he in the hospital and is in some situation going on where, it could be dire, the one thing you will need to do is contact his child. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's a situation where, he has 4 grown children, 2 of them live in Georgia, 1 of them live in Jamaica, and the person that lives in Jamaica ain't never left Jamaica from the minute she was born. And the one grown child that family member knew lived here. Because you got beef, you didn't want to call my child, and then when I'm talking to this person, they giving me all kind of wrong ass signals to try to divert me from getting the information that my child needed. And it was just, and my whole thought behind that was, like, human to human, this is her father. What are you doing? Like, you do like if something actually happened, you really was just gonna say fuck her? I ain't gonna tell her because I don't like her. Like, bitch, what the fuck you mean?
That's some shameful behavior, and it reminds me of when people turn hella ugly regarding finances after a funeral, settling estates, or just
All those things.
whatever. All of those shit. So it's like, I'm sorry that she had to go through that. However, I'm glad that she had such a strong support, whether it's coming from her mom or somebody that just says like, this shit ain't right, don't do that, you know what I'm saying? And that's just some really shameful stuff. And do you guys have any do you have any times where you had to check some family members, gentlemen?
Right, because because that was really the situation. It was just like, you know what I mean, like me and because again, this is my daughter's father. When she's 25, we haven't been together since she was like less than 6 months old. So it's like me and this man don't have nothing going on. But at the end of the day, I as a human, I recognize that if I was in the hospital, there's no one in my side of the family that would have been trying to give us some kind of fake ass runaround if I'm in the hospital. No. So you as a family, whether you haven't talked to me in years, whether we not related or whatever the fuck, whatever beef you claim you had with my child, this is not the time to exercise it against her. And the fact that that she had to come to me to assist her in order to get through this person. And even as I'm trying to get through the person, they getting aggravated with me because I'm pushing for information, and they like, well, who the fuck is you? And I'm like, it's not even about who the fuck I am. It's about the fact that you're trying to hurt my child, and I'm not about to stand for it. So let's figure out the dizziness and tell us what we need to know. I mean, the ending of that story is that she did get to see him and find out information and put herself in a in a place in the hospital or on paperwork that, you know, information needs to be reported to her and such and things of that nature. Because after all, she's a 25-year-old woman. So at the end of the day, she's a grown person, one of his grown children, his last grown child. So, you know, she was able to make it through. But the fact that she had to go through that aggravation was just like, and then I had to jump in to go through it because you don't like her. The fuck?
Yeah, let me build on that.
Girl, sit down.
I would say this, and Ruby doll, I've been seeing your tears this whole stream. Don't think I ain't see you. I see you.
What are you talking about? I have an allergic reaction. I'm not actually crying.
You're not? I know you get emotional sometimes, but you're not crying. Okay.
I do. I'm not crying for real. I would tell y'all.
I know you would. And I got a question for you too, Ruby doll. I do got a question for you based on the situation we're talking about. But let me answer Kai Storm's question. I would say this, like a good friend of mine gave me some great advice. Shout out to KMA. She said, your family will, you know, they will try to drag you to hell. They'll buy your ticket to hell if you let them. You know what I'm saying?
Word life.
So my thing is that sometimes you got to treat those people who are not acting like family as relatives. They related to you, but they damn sure not family. So you got to make sure that line is drawn. If you got to get rid of them, you got to block them. You got to do whatever you got to do. Do what you got to do, man, to create distance and make sure that you're not letting them basically try to drag you down to their level, or drag you down to their bullshit, because they will. Because you got to understand, a lot of times too, with people in your family, and it's crazy that shit gets like this, but with family at times, they could be the worst ones, because sometimes they can be angry at some shit that happened decades ago, or they could be jealous or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
It could be a whole bunch of shit that you're not even thinking about, like
or care
your
about.
mind ain't even off of that. You ain't even on that vibe. You're just trying to build, and they thinking about some whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? So when they want to think about the other shit, then you got to treat them accordingly. You know what I'm saying? If you're not acting like family, I'm not gonna treat you like family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know, and you know, definitely just stay on your side of the field, and I'm gonna stay on mine, and we good. You know what I mean? Just don't cross that line, and we good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you got to treat them. Because let me tell you something, these people will try to use that family narrative to try to extort you, or try to guilt trip you, or try to make you feel bad about some shit that don't even make no sense. And a lot of time, I'm just gonna put it out here. A lot of people in these family, a lot of you motherfucking people that's supposed to be family, a lot of people, and I'm gonna just say this because I know it's gonna go public. A lot of y'all niggas is just jealous, man. Y'all jealous, y'all hateful, and y'all mad that your own life fucking sucks. That's what you really mad about. You know what I'm saying? You mad that whether I got $1 or I got $1 million, and I'm still gonna be me, and I'm still gonna be fly, and I'm still gonna be cool, and I'm still gonna be chill, and be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have a smile on my face. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna never be without a woman. You know, no matter where my life takes me. You know what I'm saying? And you just mad at that shit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna never be without opportunities, and you just mad at that. You know what I mean? So some people just mad. We gotta understand that some people in our families are really fucking miserable. You know what I'm saying? And that misery loves company. So when you see that with it being intolerable and it being all of this shit, just understand that their life is in the fucking gutter. You know what I'm saying? And they're not living their purpose. Because when you live in your purpose, you live fulfilled, you are gonna, that energy is gonna come off. It's gonna come off.
Even watch people. Exactly.
It's gonna come off the same way. I'm gonna let M3 answer the question about family, and then I got a question for Ruby Doll. Based on the situation you're telling me about the dude in the church and all that. I do got a question.
Yes.
Well, let me give my 2 cents into it, and I'll make it quick, right? Because I do want to hear Mr. Best's question, but you know, just because like someone is related to you by blood does not mean that you actually have to love them, force your love on them because they're family. And I think the worst advice that our parents ever gave us is the advice that just because that person has done you wrong doesn't mean that you should not, you know, like pull your love back from that person. I think that's the worst advice that was told to us. Because we always hear that, you know, family is everything. That person could be a crack addict, drug dealer, gangbanger.
but that person's your family, so you have to love them. Let me tell you this though. There's some family members that will get you end up killed. You know what I mean? Because they don't have that same type of love for you. And unfortunately, the way how I choose family is family that is like, been by my side, through thick and thin. And y'all don't even have to be blood related. So people that's blood related to me, like I don't have that type of connection with them like that. They're scattered all over the place. They're far away or whatever. And the few people that I do have a connection with, again, they're far away. And I remember a cousin and I, like my cousin hit me up. We had like a cool little conversation, and we were just talking about family members. And he was like, "Man, like M3, like honestly, it's only like you and I, man. As far as like with the generation, because everyone is like some of us is like in jail, locked up in prison. Others are strung out on drugs. Some decide to pretty much disassociate away, from family members. And it's like, it could really be disheartening and sad, because it's like, I want the white family Christmas, like I want the TV, the family matters, like, matters TV show type of family where we all get together, have our little family reunions and kumbaya. Like I want my family, my blood related relatives to be my best friends, but unfortunately, it's not like that. And so I think the biggest lesson is that what we're being taught is that really originally the way how we created, whether it be evolution, God, whoever, we was all meant to be like family. Even if we met each other and know each other for like maybe a few months or so, as you continue to build and you go through like life, like life's like problems or good times, good ups or whatever, you really make that decision to really see that, okay, is this person worthy enough for me to call my brother, my sister? And if it's reciprocated, then cool, congratulations. Now you build yourself a relationship with that person where you could actually call them like your brother and sister and tell them like, hey, I love you.
Word, definitely. But yes, let's get this question in, Mr. Best in the World. Let's get this question in.
So Ruby Doll. So okay, in that situation, right? With this person that you have acquired and you have met with and you have connected with, are you a bit apprehensive? And if you are a little bit apprehensive, is it due to the fact that maybe you don't want to be hurt? Maybe it's based on the fact that the person is religious, like, or do you feel like you can go all in and just build with this person? Like, how do you really feel about that connection?
I've been mulling it over a lot and that's why I asked that question. And I asked him that same question too. Which is, do I want a relationship? Because, and mind you, I'm going to back it up a little bit. There's been no ever like flirting, nothing. Like, this is like my friend. Okay. So he's my friend. In fact, I think it's not more like him hurting me. It's like, I don't want to hurt him. You know what I mean? Because he lives a very disciplined life. Like very disciplined. I mean, he literally is like everything I think that I want in life. If I had like, okay, hold on. Wait. Cause it's kind of, there's sections to this that I want to answer. Number one, I do love him as a friend to the point of, I don't want to fuck his shit up. You know what I'm saying? So if I get involved with him, I'm not as disciplined, maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it's possible because we differ on so many levels. Like, he's very traditional. But see, a motherfucker like me thought that I felt like I wanted traditional for so long, and now I don't.
It sounds like to me like we need to get our thoughts together as far as what we want. No.
No, but
because I know you very well, and I know for a fact that in order for you to know what you want, that in order for you to move forward, I should say, you need to know exactly what you want, and you're doing right by not automatically trying to jump into a relationship with this person, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you want exactly, and
hold on.
And he's already set in his ways, and at the end of the day, you don't want to be the one to roll in, to change shit around, and then be like, oh, by the way, I don't want to be here. So peace.
Right.
You feel me?
I don't want to do that.
Hold on, I gotta give a little input. Hold on. Listen. Okay. I know they always say that you won't change for a person, but I think that's bullshit. Like, because I've seen people, like relatives, family members, seen people that are friends that have changed for motherfuckers, like, because that person they felt was worth it, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If I meet somebody that like, if I was to meet somebody like, if I wasn't with the person I'm with and I met somebody and I felt it was worth it, right. Oh yeah, there'd be shit that I would change if I need to, if I feel like they worth it. Mm-hmm. But if I don't feel like you're worth it, I'm not changing a goddamn thing. I'm gonna be completely real, and I'm not expecting you to change anything even if you don't feel like I'm worth it. You feel me? So,
okay, now check this out, y'all. So, like, in my season of, I would say, reflection, where I'm not sexually active, right? It's like, I know I can go without, like, have it, you know what I'm saying? I know what I thought I couldn't do, I'm doing. You feel me? Y'all feeling me on this?
Right, totally.
Like, the very thing. See, that's why I'm saying, that's why I like that y'all saying this, because it's quick. It's gonna click full circle. What?
No, so
we understand where you come from.
Go ahead.
No, okay, so like, no, but the piece that I'm trying to make is like, because I'm okay, like, if let's say I gave this situation a chance where I'm like, oh, I really want to see where this goes and stuff, I just want to leave room for me to be like, hey, yo, this is who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? I want, but if I were to have a real shit with them or anybody else, they would have to know my most fucked up shit.
Well, if they accept it, then if you chose to tell people that, I guess, yeah.
Or like, no, like, if I want to get down with, I would like to make love with the woman sometimes. It's not, and as glamorous as Hollywood makes it, not all motherfuckers are okay with that.
Okay,
especially if that other woman don't want to touch you, just want to touch me. Now we got a problem. And you know what I'm saying? And then now I'm looking like this, but that's what I'm saying. I got to stay true to Rue. Right. And as long as that is available, then we can rock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think I need to answer this type of question though, right? But no, I appreciate the openness, bro. The reality is that, like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people that's not gonna go with it, because think about this though, especially in the United States, right? You know, it's run through like a so-called Christian-minded type of mentality, right? So of course, everybody's gonna come up with their fake morale, even though deep down inside they may want to try certain things out, but they're not gonna really be open and honest to you out in the public, which the pool may be a little bit smaller. Now you're gonna have some guys. I want to tell you this: you're gonna have some guys that will probably be down for that. You know what I mean? But as long as it benefits for them, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And like you said,
exactly.
Yeah. And like you said,
benefiting for them, they're not even trying to see that. And at the end of the day, you got to be the one to again, you got to be in a situation where everybody's honest, everybody is, you know what I mean? You gotta be
there's so many egos out there. That's the problem.
Everybody is on the same fucking page, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Let Rue say, hey, like, you know, I want to be in a polyamorous relationship where like I just want like just another dude to be up in the circle or whatever. You know, the majority of dudes is not gonna really go for that. You know what I mean? Unless they partake in that polyamorous relationship and they're actually okay with that. Shout out to Miss Polly. But you know, yeah, the thing is like even so, even with that shrinks up the pool, but you will find someone that would actually be okay with it, you know. And it just depends on like the level of love and the lack of judgment that the person has like for you, you know what I mean? So I just say like, you know, keep being honest, like keep being you, because what attracts men in the first place is that men are actually what attracts men in the first place is that when women are upfront and honest with them. The problem is in these relationships now these days that everybody's trying to play a game.
Yeah, I don't want no games. Nah.
Yeah. And they're trying to follow like a rule that is so broken that you can't even like have long, everlasting type of relationships because you're trying to follow the rules of texting, you're trying to follow the rules of calling or whatever, you're trying to speak a certain vernacular and all that.
Live up to
like
something that don't exist based on outside people's standards. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is definitely been a great conversation. I am so glad we've had it.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
What?
Honey. Yeah, honey.
Man, I had
oh man, you kicking us out?
Rue, remember we got something else that we got two of them today. We got now.
Oh my gosh, family, we got two of them today. I'm so sorry, guys. But I had an embarrassing story too.
Here.
Oh yeah, you guys got like another interview right now coming up.
In 3 minutes.
Oh damn. Okay.
Look, family, love y'all, salute.
Yeah.
I'm a holler.
We gotta do this again.
I love you, Rue. I love you guys.
Ruby,
we definitely gotta do this again.
Okay.
All in the motherfucking building.
Where knowledge and relationships.
Hey, peace out, ladies. Hey, much love though.
I appreciate you.
Later.
Appreciate y'all.